For our math lesson today, we are beginning lesson 4 in topic 3. Today we are going to be learning about doubles plus. Our learning intention is I can use doubles facts to help solve double plus facts. So we are starting on our solve and share on page 121. Our solve and share says Carlos and Emily each pick 5 strawberries. What doubles fact shows how many strawberries they have in all? It also says if Emily picks one more strawberry, how could you find how many strawberries in all? So we are going to solve the first question first. So it tells us that Carlos and Emily each pick 5 strawberries. It wants us to show a doubles fact to show how many strawberries they have in all. Well, we can just make little dots in our baskets. So if this is Carlos's basket, and this is Emily's basket. So if they each pick 5 strawberries, so Carlos picks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Emily also picks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They each have 5, so if we're looking for the doubles fact to show how many in all, we know that a doubles fact has the same add-ins. So if they each have 5, our doubles fact to solve would be 5 plus 5. So if I know Carlos has 5, I can just count on from Emily's 5. So I have 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 10 strawberries in all for the first part of the question. Then it asks, if Emily picks one more strawberry, how could you find how many strawberries in all? So now it's saying if Carlos picked 5, but it says Emily's going to pick one more. How could we find out how many strawberries we have in all now? Well, if we know that 5 plus 5 was equal to 10, and now we're just adding one more, then we would just say 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. So they began with 10 strawberries in all, then Emily picked one more, and now they have 11 strawberries in all. So the math video for this lesson was not working on the website, so we are just going to have to skip over it, but that's okay. We are just going to head straight into the Convince Me section of our workbook on page 122. So our Convince Me says, how does knowing 7 plus 7 help you find 7 plus 8? Well, 7 plus 7 is a doubles fact, and 7 plus 8 is a near doubles fact. So, when I look at these problems, I know that 7 and 8 are just one number apart. So 7 plus 8's answer is just going to be one more than what 7 plus 7 is. So if I were to add together 7 plus 7, and I can show that using counters. So if I were to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then count on 7 more. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I know that 7 plus 7 is equal to 14. And we know that 8 is just 1 more than 7. That means our answer for 7 plus 8 is going to be 1 more than 14. So what is one more number than 14? 15. 7 plus 7 is equal to 14. 7 plus 8 is equal to 15. Since 8 is just one more number than 7, we just add 1 to our total sum. For our guided practice, we will be doing the same skills that we've seen so far. Our guided practice tells us to add the doubles, then use the doubles facts to help you solve the doubles plus facts. So let's look. On number 1, we have 2 sets of cubes. Number 1 is already completed for us, but we are still going to fill it in. So in our first cube tower, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first cube tower is our doubles fact. We have 5 cubes plus these 5 more cubes, these purple in the second cube tower. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. Then if you notice, 2 blue cubes were added. So now we are adding 5, like we have down here. So now we are adding 5, which is our first cube tower, plus now it has changed to 7. It was 5, and then we added 2 more, which is 7. So by knowing 5 plus 5 equals 10, when I look at 5 plus 7, well, 7 is just 2 more than 5. So I would just add 2 to my total sum. Let's look at the second one. In the second one, our first cube tower has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I am first adding my doubles facts. So if I have 8 green cubes in my first cube tower, I'm going to write 8. And then I am adding 8 more. So I'm just adding together my green cubes. So if I have 8 up here, and I know I have 8 down here, then I can just count on from 8. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we are just finding our doubles facts, so we are only using the same colored blocks, so our green blocks. But then we see that one more block is added to this tower. So we have 8 green cubes, and now we have 1 orange cube, which would give us a total of 9. Well, if I know 8 plus 8 is equal to 16, 8 plus 9 will just be 1 more than 16. Because we are still adding the same 8, but now we are just adding 1 more, because 9 is 1 more than 8. So 8 plus 9 would be equal to 17. We just added 1 more in our add-in, so that means our total will just change by 1. So for your independent practice on page 123, you are doing what we have seen so far. It tells us to add the doubles, then use the doubles facts to help you solve the doubles plus facts. So we will do number 3 together. So if you notice, It says we're using doubles facts first, so all of our first problems in each question are all doubles facts. The next one is a doubles plus fact. So we need to find 7 plus 7. Now I know everyone adds differently. I've seen some people use counters at home, some people count in their head, some people count on your fingers. So Mrs. Collier likes to count on her fingers. So if I were to have 7 and I need to add 7 more, well, I could hold up 7 fingers and then just count on 7 more. So if I have 7, I could count 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, however you count at home, if it works for you and you get the same answers, then I am perfectly okay with that. So our first doubles facts we solved was 7 plus 7 is 14. Well, just like we've seen before, now we are adding 7 and 8. Well, 8 is just 1 more than 7. So our total sum is just going to change by 1. So what is 1 more than 14? 15. So as you are working through these problems, be sure to solve your doubles facts first and then use that to help you solve the doubles plus fact. And if you need to go back and look in the video at any point, please go ahead and do so. So I want you to pause the video and work on numbers 4 through 8, and then when you are ready to play the video, it will begin talking about number 9. On number 9, it says Max has some blue marbles. Tom has some red marbles. Tom has 2 more marbles than Max. How many do they have in all? So on number 9, you guys get to pick your own numbers to make this equation. So it just tells us that Max has some marbles and Tom has some marbles. But we do know that Tom has 2 more than Max. So you get to make your own addition problem for this. So Mrs. Collier will do an example of this problem, and then I want you to make your own. So we get to make up our own number for Max. So let's see, if I said Max had 6 marbles, so it didn't give us a number, so we get to make up our own. So if Max had 6 marbles, I don't know how many Tom had, but I do know that Tom has 2 more than Max. Well, if I said Max has 6 marbles, I know that Tom is going to have 2 more. So what was 6 plus 2? 6 plus 2 is 8. So if I said Max had 6 marbles, and it tells us that Tom has 2 more marbles than Max, well, 2 more than 6 is 8. And now I need to add these together. So I'm going to use a doubles fact. So if I know that 6 plus 6 is equal to 12, well, 8 is just 2 more than 6. So I know I would just need to add 2 more to my answer. So if 6 plus 6 is 12, and I add 2 more to solve for 8, I know 6 plus 8 would be 14. So for number 9, I want you to create your own problem. The only rule that you have is that however many you give Max, Tom has to have 2 more numbers than that. So if I gave Max 6 marbles, I had to give Tom at least I had to give Tom 2 more than however many I gave Max. So that is the only rule for number 9. So don't use my problem that I made. I want you to create your own problem for number 9. If you are still working on number 9, we're going to begin talking about number 10. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video so that you can finish working up on number 9. Our directions for our last page are to solve each problem below, then write an equation to match the problem. On number 10, it says Carrie and Pete each pick 7 cherries. Then Pete picks 1 more. How many cherries do they have in all? So this problem is a lot like what we saw in our solve and share. So I know we are going to be adding, because we're saying how many do they have in all. So for our problem, we need to write the number of cherries that Carrie picked, and then the number of cherries that Pete picked, and add them together. So be careful because it first tells us that Carrie and Pete each picked 7 cherries, but then it tells us that Pete picked 1 more. So what is 1 more than 7? If I were to add 1 more number to the number 7, what would I get? So you are going to write the total number of cherries that Carrie picked. And then remember that Pete picked 1 more than Carrie. So write that number here. Add them together. And then write your total also here where it says blank cherries. Same thing for number 11. Number 11 says Manny and Pam each buy 5 apples. Then Pam buys 2 more apples. How many apples do they have in all? We are adding again. So we need to write the total number of apples that Manny bought. So it told us that Manny and Pam each buy 5 apples. So we need to write the total number that Manny bought. Then it tells us that Pam bought 2 more than this number. So Pam bought 2 more apples after they each had 5. So we will write 2 plus 5. That answer will go in the blank here. Then we will add these 2 numbers together to get our total. And we will also write our total in the blank where it says blank apples. On number 12, it says Laura has to solve 9 plus 8. Explain how she could use 8 plus 8 to find the sum. So for this problem, because I know we have a little bit of trouble writing, for number 12, you can either show me 8 plus 8 equals that number, and then show me 9 plus 8 equals that number. Or if you do have some help at home, and you have somebody who could help you write it out, you could tell us how using the doubles fact of 8 plus 8 could help you solve 9 plus 8. So you could have 2 options on that one. You could either just write the numbers for me, or if you have somebody who could help you write it for number 12, then that would be just fine with me. So you can either do numbers, or if you have somebody to help you write the words, then you can also do the words. And number 13 says use a doubles fact to help you find the missing add-in. So we know that the missing add-in is going to be in the blank. Our add-ins are the 2 numbers we use to add together to get a sum. So we have 8 plus blank equals 17. So we need to find which of these numbers is going to fit best in the blank to give us 8 plus blank equals 17. Our friend at the bottom of the page says you can use double and double plus fact to help you solve the problem. So if it gives me the number 8, so if I wanted to use a doubles fact to help me solve, I could say 8 plus 8 equals, and then find this number, the total number of 8 plus 8, and see if it's different than our total given here. And if it is, do you need to go up or down in a number? So I know today's lesson was a little bit different. We've worked with doubles but never doubles plus facts. So if you have any questions or any trouble, please just let me know and I will either hop on a Google Meet or we can find a way to get it figured out. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.